Joining us is Joseph Deitch, who is the author of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, Elevate, An Essential Guide to Life. Joseph is also the founder of the Elevate Prize, which aims to elevate humanity on a global level while amplifying ideas that have the potential to make a global impact. Joseph is also the founder and chairman of Commonwealth Financial Network, which is the largest privately owned independent investment bank broker-dealer in the United States, with assets under management of close to $200 billion. Joseph, I'm just glad that you took time out to talk to me today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a weird number, isn't it? I started the company in 1979, and I did not come from wealth or anything approaching that. And as you grow and the numbers get bigger, you just kind of scratch your head, and then you're into the millions. And yeah, it's weird. We're very lucky. It's not our money. We manage it for other people, a network of 2,000 financial advisors around the United States. But the fact that people trust us and they want to be affiliated with us, it's unbelievably humbling.
So I want to talk about the book, Elevate, An Essential Guide to Life. What made you decide to write this?
So when I was a kid growing up, I thought adults were stupid. They smoked cigarettes, they didn't eat properly, they didn't exercise, they believed politicians. There was a long list. And as I got older, I found out I was half right. Adults are oftentimes misguided and short-sighted, but so was I. I started to realize so many of the mistakes that I was making. And I realized that I just, like everyone else, I have my biases, my faulty perceptions, my stupid things born of inexperience or just plain ignorance. So it's a long list. But I became fascinated with this notion of wisdom, because we're not the first generation to say, let's lead an intelligent life. Let's lead a happy life. This has been going on from the beginning. And there have been philosophers and spiritual leaders and just regular folk who learn stuff and pass it along to their students, to their children, to whoever will listen. And yet for some reason, we come along and we have to learn it anew. I don't know if you have kids, but for those who have children, and you talk to your teenagers, you say, let me save you a lot of aggravation. Let me share with you what to do and what not to do. And it's not that they don't retain it. It is not that it goes in one ear and out. It doesn't even get in half the time. And we were those teenagers. And some lessons are hard to learn. So that was the genesis of the book, my trying to understand, not only what is this wisdom, but why don't we just go, okay, thank you so much, I'll do that.
It's broken into two parts, the book is, and the first part brings in 5 powerful insights and that you suggest, and then the second part is 10 essential skills. So how did you come up with all of that?
I don't know if this makes me sound like really studious or really, really thick. I spent over 20 years on this book, but it was a great journey because I was just learning all this stuff. And every time I learned something, my mind would expand some more. So now you have all this wisdom that has been handed down, from generations or just from thought leaders. And how do you package that? How does it, do you write a book that says, here's 1,000 things you should do? That's not, how do you manage that? How do you remember that? And that took a while. And ultimately, I divided the book into 2 sections, awareness and action. Awareness is just sort of being aware of things, opening our minds, opening our hearts. And then action is like, okay, what do we do? Well, here's a list of 1,000 things. No, I mean, can we chunk it out? And there were 10 skills that I arbitrarily chose. Theoretically, there's an infinite number of skills, but 10 skills that I think are akin to superpowers almost. And that's what those 10 chapters are, those 10 different actions.
Joseph, do you believe this book can help everyone?
I was trying to think of something cute to say. Yeah, interestingly, if someone decides to get the book or read the book, they're halfway there. The decision to change is half the battle. And was it Woody Allen who said 80% of winning is just showing up?
Right.
But if you, either that or some famous football coach, but if you just show up, you're on the path already. If you show up and say, I'd like to hear this, I'd like to have an open mind about this, that's the big thing. And then whether it's this book or any other self-help book, you'll definitely get something out of it.
We're speaking with author Joseph Deitch, who wrote the book Elevate, an Essential Guide for Life. Joseph, do you have a personal mantra?
A few. It depends. Well, my shirt is "Be good to people," but this my little hoodie. I have another. My buddy has a little T-shirt company, and it's called BDE, Best Day Ever. And whenever I put on this T-shirt that says "Best Day Ever," I sort of inhabit that. Or whenever I put on my Elevate T-shirt, I just inhabit Elevate. One of my favorite mantras is gratitude. That's why Thanksgiving is such a wonderful holiday, because we just focus on appreciation. And if we can just say thank you a lot, if we can look around ourselves and go, yes, I understand I have this pain and I could have, run the race in this speed, but I was slower, but I got to run the race. Yeah. I met nice people that day. How lucky am I that I can walk? So appreciation for sure.
You talk about the idea of introducing empathy into the conversation. I want to hear more about that.
Oh, so empathy is something that I did not learn as a child. Empathy is something I'm working on and working hard on. I think our knee-jerk reaction when someone disagrees with us is to go, no, you're wrong. But if we can understand that our view is literally that, our view, people see things differently. Men and women, look at the world differently. If you come from Africa or Asia or America, you look at the world differently. If you're brought up poor versus rich, if you have a sensory deprivation, whatever, we all experience things differently. If someone disagrees with me, and in a sense, everyone disagrees with me because they're different people with different experiences. Right. But when someone disagrees with me, if my energy goes into trying to convince them of my point of view, what am I learning? Nothing. And I started doing this more and more when Trump was running for president the first time. It was he was a very divisive force. Still is. And a lot of my friends felt the obvious answer was this. And other people who were supportive of Trump said, no, we like the guy, and here's why. And they became polarized and stopped talking. Same thing with pro-life and pro-choice. There's not much of a conversation. But if you can have a conversation, you learn things. So I learned so much. I would just say to people, well, who do you support for president? How come? And just keep asking questions, sort of like a journalist, just with sincere curiosity. I learned so much. It was great.
How do you do that without letting the anger build up inside you if you don't agree with them?
You have to, this keys into awareness. You have to, what is your intent? Is your intent to, punish them for being wrong? So I did not vote for Trump. I voted for Biden. And, but 75 million people voted. A lot of 75 million people, whatever the number is, felt otherwise. That's a lot of people. Are they all stupid and misguided? I think it's a much more helpful question to say, what am I missing? What are my blinders? If we want to live in a better world, if we want our lives to be better, work on us.
Tell me about the Elevate Prize and why you decided to create this.
The Elevate Prize is a foundation that I started a couple of years ago, and it sprung from my desire to give back. And we all have that desire in some way, give back, pay it forward, help others. But, well, how do you do that? And being the entrepreneur that I am, is how do I maximize my resources? If I have two choices, if I can, write the check to this organization and it'll do X amount of work, is there some other place where I can write the same check and it does 10 times that amount? So one decision was to identify people, amazing people who are doing incredible things, and give them resources. And, well, how do you find them? We decided to create a prize. Because prizes are sexier, they attract more interest, and for the winners, it goes on their CV. They go, we won this prize. So that was the genesis, and then I just started speaking with experts. Met with a lot of philanthropy consultants, and I learned a lot. One of the things they said was, you should focus on, what's your issue? And I said, no, that's not what I want to do. Because we have to be true to our hearts. But what I knew was I wanted to do something big, because that gets my passions going. And I want to help people. I want to help as many people as possible. I just want to make the world a better place. So we created the Elevate Prize Foundation. We are radically diverse in any way you want to slice or dice it. We just gave out our money to our first winners. We picked 10 people, and we're giving them, each one gets $300,000 plus a whole portfolio of resources. It's money alone is not enough.
Right.
We want to help them build their organizations. I've gone back to business school in my career because there's so much to learn. These people are building enterprises. We want to help them do that. We want to help them share their story. So go to elevateprize.org, and you can, it's remarkable what we're doing.
It's amazing what you're doing. On Epiphany Now, we're doing something on a very smaller level, but we're looking for kids, youth in K through 12 who have come up with ideas to change their school, their community. And every year we give out the ePIF Award, Youth Passing It Forward. And it's incredible to see the ideas that these kids have that are just simple and amazing, and they care. And it's great. So thank you for what you do.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you here because I've looked at what you do and your website, and it gave me so many ideas. It fits into exactly what our mission is, because we want to find things that are scalable. So what you're doing is scalable. Other people in other towns, other companies, communities around the world can do something very similar. They don't need a lot of money to do it. They just want to make things better, celebrate people.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's where Epiphany comes from. Epiphany Now is You can have an epiphany right now to do something to change somebody else's world. And I guarantee when you do that, it changes your own. It's like a free drug.
Yes, for sure. It's, what people don't always realize intuitively is how good it feels to help somebody else. And a lot of the spiritual leaders will talk about this in metaphysical terms. They'll say, the love you project out there gets reflected back out to you. And I would add multiplied. And if you don't believe me, try it. Go out there. I mean, you don't even have to wait till it gets reflected back. Just doing it makes us feel good.
Yeah. How do you stay motivated? Because, even I sometimes will do these videos and I'll look and see the views and I'll think, nobody's watching, and then I kind of go down the rabbit hole. And then, of course, I know how to get out of the rabbit hole because I have a technique that gets me out. But I'm wondering what motivates you?
I'm very lucky. I get motivated easily. I get motivated by almost anything. Many, many years ago, at the beginning of my career, I was a financial advisor. And I had this one particular client, Jim, he's a physician. He was my hero. He was excited about everything. And to talk to him was just incredible because he'd go, tell me more. He was just so interested by everybody and everything. And I hadn't seen him for like 30 years. And we saw each other a couple of years ago, and I got to tell him the story. I said, you've been, one of my inspirations. Mm-hmm. You can look for motivation. You can look for inspiration. You can, let's say, there are a lot of people who have motivation and inspiration in their life, but they think they don't. So, and I know people like this, and because they get dragged down by, the person who gave them that one insult, and now they're fixated on that, and that keys into some other childhood trauma or something. But you can say to yourself, what am I interested in? Make a list. What am I interested in? Nothing. Okay. Is there one thing in the world you like? Yeah, I like ice cream. What kind of ice cream? My favorite's chocolate. What's your favorite chocolate ice cream? I mean, now all of a sudden you're inhabiting that feeling. How does it make you feel? Oh, it does this, this, and this to me. Anything else you like? Well, now that you loosened up, you go, so there's I don't eat fried food. It just doesn't agree with me.
Yeah.
There's I lived in Miami most of the year. There's one restaurant here that they have this fried chicken, which is just unbelievable. And I'll eat a little bit of the fried. Oh, it's so good. But see, I mean, if we bring our mind to what excites us, we become that. Enthusiasm is so contagious that we literally can infect ourselves.
Yeah.
So once we start talking about what we love, that becomes our mental state, and all of a sudden we're there. And so much is possible when we're there. Yeah.
Joseph, I end every interview by asking everyone the same question, and that is, Joseph Deitch, tell me something good.
So you told me at the beginning you're going to ask me this question. And I go, I don't know. And I realized three things jumped to mind. And I'll tell you what they are. We had a team meeting with the Elevate Prize, senior management of Elevate Prize this morning. And this team is so good, so good. It gives me so much joy. The other thing was I had a therapy session. And it, I love therapy. Or any kind of consulting. My late wife was a therapist, so I was, for 25 years I got it every day. But it's so helpful to work with a talented person, whether it's financial therapist or psychological therapist, medical, whatever it is. To work with someone who's talented, it can help you is a joy. And the other thing is, yesterday I gave some things to some people. And they were enormously appreciative, and my heart swelled that I could do that.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank
I don't
you.
know. Yeah, it's I'm a lot of joy.
Well, thank you for what you do. You are changing lives and making the world a better place, and we need more people like that. So thank
And
you so much.
and you, my friend, thank you.
All right.